Hey fuckers, it's Friday.
Can't spell shattered without shat or turd.
Like a gut punch to the abdomen.
Some of the funniest shit on the web.
I call it a rock Fred.
I like the cut of your jib, gentlemen.
These 5 are the only protection we have.
The best part of the show is the genuine Hasbro love.
Good night, folks.
And of course, Pat's weekly farts.
Breaking news. It's very outside of the box.
Hail day.
I love Friday. Bob's Bait and Tackle, now carrying Hasbro.
They truly are your favorite podcast.
Thoughts, prayers, likes, and shares. Shattered A to B.
Shattered Uncut. Is that you? Shattered Uncut.
When are you going to bring Larry back?
My favorite Star Wars podcast.
Shattered Cast Uncut.
Like complete fuckers. Podcast is intended for mature audiences only, and its sole purpose is to entertain. If it doesn't fit with your sensitive sensibilities, please feel free to turn it off now and
shut the fuck up, Chip.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Shattercast Uncut, episode 240. At least I hope it is. I'm trusting that number is correct. I'm not good. Like, ever since we got over, I think, 150, I've kind of just...
It's pretty much been downhill from 100.
I haven't been the best at keeping...
Bobby.
Yeah, that's also true. Yes, Greg.
Girl, you know it's true.
Oh. Ooh. I'll be hosting tonight. If you want to start a thread on TFW about that, you can go to www.tfw2005.com, go to the forum section, and start your own little topic. I am joined tonight by a very short-staffed cast. Possibly Robert might catch in later, but he didn't pay any attention to the fucking chat that he looked at yesterday.
Hold on.
Let's
not say he didn't pay attention to the chat that he looked at yesterday when he asked the question yesterday.
He was the one that
recording
asked.
tonight or tomorrow?
Right.
I feel like how good of a lawyer could he be? I mean, come on.
No, he can't be any good. I wouldn't.
He did not pay attention. He completely disregarded.
Yeah, but he's from New York, best lawyers in the world. So, I mean, fact, right?
I'd be like, Robert, I have a legal question. I'm gonna need a lawyer, and I just want to start off with this question. We've been friends for a long time. I know you're a lawyer. Could you recommend a competent lawyer to me that I could hire?
Is there someone that you deal with that frequently wins your cases?
Someone that you're like, you know what, this guy is on the money. Give me his number.
Imagine if Robert was a criminal trial lawyer, and it's like the day of like your last day of a murder trial that you did not do, and he's like, hey, sorry, I went out with the family today to Coney Island. Got a couple of Nathans, got a Knish, rode the Ferris wheel. I'm not going to be able to make it to court today, but you got this, right?
Dodge the Russian mafia across the street.
Do you guys think that kids these days that, you know, they go to school, they get home like 2:30 and turn on the TV and watch whatever this generation's equivalent of like Gilligan's Island is, and then like the commercials come on and there's like a commercial with Robert there. He's like, have you been injured in an accident? You know, I feel like there has to be a commercial like that with Robert in it.
Do you or any of your family or loved ones take a medication known as blank? Well, someone else far smarter and more qualified than us has decided that this was actually dangerous, but we are willing to get you your money.
Well, two things. There was going to be that commercial. Well, actually, first of all, my man said kids these days. Second of all, there was going to be a commercial like that, but Robert couldn't make the taping because he hurt his back. And he forgot he ordered Chinese food. And, my kid's graduating karate class today, so I'm going to have to...
I'm going on vacation with that man. I'm going on vacation with that man.
That's just not going to happen.
And, well, here's what I'm just thinking about, Greg. Luckily, he's already paid for half of it. So if he doesn't show up, it's just a family vacation. And it still costs me the same.
I show up a little late.
No, it's your family vacation, so you know he's going to show up punctual as fuck with like a case of that fucking snake wine or whatever the fuck it was he was drinking like a few weeks ago, and he's just going to get fucking retarded drunk. Oh, sorry. Developmentally challenged drunk. And he's just going to fucking, like, your kids are going to have some memories.
Robert's not.
Memories. Maybe not the ones.
So, Greg,
have. Sir,
you are with us tonight.
Ask me.
What did you get this week?
Oh, dude, I got a whole big fucking box today. Actually, of nothing. I didn't get shit.
It was just.
The last thing I got was
T2RX. Was what?
Dracula.
Oh, okay.
My mind wipe.
Ah, cool. T2RX6. What did you get this week?
Only thing I got was a return label for my busted ass compromiso, however you want to say it. Yeah, so I sent him and Toro back, and they're currently on their way back. So that's all I got this week.
Are you just straight up returning them?
No, they're supposed to be sending me another one. They think that not all the batches are so effed up. So, and they're like, if it is, just let us know, and we'll swap that out too. I'm like, I really would have liked to have kept my Cliff Jumper. And they're like, yeah, but we only have 2-packs, so we got to do it in 2s. I'm like, that seems kind of weird. Why not just turn one 2-pack into a single pack? But whatever, none of my business, right?
You're gonna get a jacked up Toro and a perfect.
I know that's probably what's gonna happen. Then what I'm gonna do is I'll just order a Toro from them and be like, yeah, that was jacked up, and I need to send it back. I don't want it anymore. So. One day it'll rectify itself. Logic. Yeah. But yeah, so that's all I got.
I had a friend, a mutual friend. Hold on, I'm sorry, Bobby. Just to
no, you're good, buddy.
To touch on that big bad toy store logic, because we really have to stretch this shit. The show. Wait, we really have to stretch this one. It's all good, man. I still need to watch Better Call Saul from this week. I haven't watched it yet.
It was a good episode. I liked it.
Was it? I really enjoyed the last one. I really like that show a lot. A friend of mine was returning a toy, and he was like, well, can you just open another one up and send me the part that I need? And they're like, no, you need to return that one for an exchange. He was like, wouldn't it be cheaper and easier for everyone involved if you just opened one up and sent me the part and then sent that one back for a credit? And they're like, nah, we'd rather pay for shipping and have you waste your time.
Yeah. What I always love is the Hasbro Toy Shop return method. Where like, I just need to, exchange this thing because it's jacked up, and they're like, yeah, well, you can do that, but we can't guarantee you'll get what you ordered. You'll just get something else from the wave. I'm like, how's that fair?
Ooh, you're gonna love this. We have a mystery box.
I remember when I was big into alternators. Like, I was so excited that Hasbro Toy Shop had, I think it was Wheeljack. I'm pretty sure it's Wheeljack. I think my Grimlock has his sword. And I was like, yeah, my Wheeljack has the motor, but it doesn't have the little blue sword that comes with it. And they're like, well, you can send it back, but you'll just get one of the... You might not get Wheeljack again. I'm like, but I have everything else. Like, I don't need any of those other things, Like, this is a terrible... whatever. Stupid. Oh, well.
The only alternator I really liked was Shockwave.
I like that one.
For some reason, I like that toy way, way, way more than I should, and I still do.
Yeah. It's a good toy. I like it.
Bobby, can I ask you a personal question without you getting mad?
Of course.
Did you get anything this week?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I've mentioned before because I was off last week. Thanks to Justin's irresponsible scheduling.
Yeah, you know me.
But I had the opportunity to look at Masterpiece Dinobot.
Yay.
And Iron Factory Red Alert.
Yay.
And I got Mafex Two-Face, SH Figuarts Thanos. Yeah. Both great figures. Yay. Fans Toys Dracula, another great figure.
Yay.
And the Black Series Infus Nest and Infus Nest Swoop Bike, which is also a great figure, but expensive as fuck. Like, unreasonably expensive, I think, for what you're getting. And then I had the opportunity also to look at, via John Garinger, the Power of the Primes Dinobots, which is pretty much just an excuse for me to do more Dr. Francis therapy. And I'm trying to think what else there was. Oh, I'm going to be at New Jersey Collectors Con on Saturday and Sunday of this weekend. So come by and say what's up. I'm hoping to be near the Realm guys and Hung from 215. So come by and say what's up.
So because you're
Hang
with
out.
Hung, you're going to be in that back little closet that you need to put cardboard
Dude,
box.
I hope not. That was crazy. Was that crazy?
That was stupid.
I'm going to text Hung. I'm going to call Hung right now. I'm going to call him right now. Hold on 1 second. Call Hung to go.
Calling Hung now.
I'll call him right now.
And that would have been funny if it was like calling 911.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. Him and my wife, only 2 people call me Bob. Oh, he may not answer. Maybe I'll call back.
He's like, yeah, thanks for calling Hong. I'm too busy being a responsible adult right now to take your stupid fucking phone call. But if you leave a message, I may or may not get back to you in the next couple of weeks. Thanks.
But yeah, I'll be there. And apparently there's a bunch of people that want my address and shit. So if you want that, you can just swing on by and ask me. I'll be right there. I'll give you a little postcard.
17 pages, Bobby.
Else.
Up to 19? 19
is that
pages
what it is?
What you got. Yeah, 19 pages. That's 19 more than the number of people that would actually fucking approach you and express their concerns. In a personal
I haven't looked at any of it. I will say this. I talk about it a lot on Nerd Rage. Like, we kind of go into the philosophy of it. I will say this. The video that inspired all of this was intended to be motivational, positive, and uplifting. I'll also say that if anybody has a legitimate concern and approaches me and would like to debate me, I will do a video with you on my channel, and we can have that debate face to face. I'm not afraid of that debate. I don't know what you're debating, but I'm not afraid of that debate, and I'm up for it. And the other thing is, look,
fuck him. Oh.
When people start talking about getting my address, you start taking it out of one place and putting it in another place. So just know that if you type that sort of information, there's definitely documentation of that information. And if you come looking for a problem, you might just find what you're looking for. And I say that to say this.
Dark web.
I would much rather somebody have a concern, because I'm an approachable person. I don't know why people don't come to me with the issue, but I would much rather, and I promote people coming to me and saying, like, dude, I disagree so much. It makes me so upset. Let's talk about it. Like, I'll be like, cool, let's talk about it. And I will, if you live locally, you can come over. We can have lunch, and then we can video the discussion. Like, there's no reason why people can't have healthy discourse about a difference in opinion without resorting to some sort of nonsense. I'm 37 years old. Like, I'm not fighting you over whatever you're upset about. Me trying to tell you that you can do whatever you want if you try. Like, I'm not fighting you over that. But, you know, nobody knocks on the door. They'd rather make a post on some thread and talk about how I'm anonymous and then have the name Z-Force with a Mega Man avatar or some shit. Which is unfortunate. But I'm down to have that conversation. Anybody that wants to have that conversation. And anybody who knows me knows that I will be like, look, come through. Come over. I'll video, sit down. Let's talk. Let's get, that's the only way that we grow, is like grow, change, and evolve. And maybe I'll learn something. I'm not above that. I'm not You know, like I like being challenged. So like let's have that conversation. But you know, if you start putting threats on the place where my children sleep, it may not be the best choice. When there's other positive choices that can lead to actually something worthwhile, I would say.
I mean, you say all that, Bobby, but really, come on, what kind of sense is that?
No, I'm saying it may not be the
Bobby.
Yeah, that's true.
Is your house still childproof from the youngest?
I can trust my youngest.
Okay, yeah, your house might be a safety hazard for half these people coming over anyway. So you might not want to invite that.
Yeah, but I'm down to do it. You know, the only time I ever get hit up, well, it was only one person, I think, honestly, that ever hit me up with a disagreement, like directly, and wanted to do something constructive about it. And that person was like, let's do it, and we'll do it on my channel. And I was like, well, no. If we do it, we're going to do it on my channel because it's a direct retort to my content. But I'm willing to host and all that. And then when it wasn't on his channel, then he lost interest. Which makes me, you know, possibly doubt the sincerity of what he wanted to do. But, like, I'm up for that. And I'm going to be in New Jersey. If anybody's living on the East Coast and wants to get, I mean, this is going out Friday, so you only have 24 hours to get in touch with me. But I'll meet with you Saturday night in Jersey. And we can sit down and put cameras up. And we can make it happen. You know, and just a discussion. A healthy discussion. That's what it's all based on. You know? And I'm there. It's funny because I think a lot of people misinterpreted what I was saying, and I didn't even get that impression until I started talking to Joe about it, or Jisk about it, actually. But you know, my conversation about the finances had nothing to do with Flames toys. It had to do with anything. I get people hitting me up about $30 Legends that they say they can't afford. You know? And I'm like, dude, you can. You just got to make different choices or different sacrifices or whatever, and that may not be worth it to you, and that's cool. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But let's just stop saying we can't and start saying that we're choosing to go a different route. Let's not have a defeatist attitude. Let's be positive. Was my general perspective. But I do feel like there are some folks that, like, you can't tell them that they can be anything better or different than what they already are. You know, and with me, if anybody says, like, dude, you can be better this way, that's the first person I'm getting on the phone with. Like, tell me, because I'm trying to get better. Like, and not just the reviews or whatever, that not that dumb shit, like just life shit. But I guess not everybody feels that way, and that's cool. Go ahead.
You already know who you need to go on the phone with about that shit.
Tell me.
Your father.
You're
Bob.
Right. I'm not sure if I'd like those answers, but I'd listen. I listen to him all the time.
$5,000 shelf is $5,000 stunt your children's college fund. Yeah. I think is how that quote went, or something on those lines.
Yeah. No, I mean, and he's right. You know, and I think about that all the time. You know, but I got to find some sort of balance where I sacrifice so much for my children and still get to enjoy a little bit of my life. You know, and
I think about it too, Bobby. Every time I get a toy, I'm like, fucking Bobby with his kids. No consequences over here.
I'm afraid we might have a fourth on the way.
Oh.
Robert or a baby? I guess they're about the same thing.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think it's gonna be fine. Like when I play the math out of my head, it should be fine. But it's just like, you know, like
you have to talk again.
You know, when you go outside, you know, like when a comet is kind of like Haley's Comet. You remember when Haley's Comet, you go outside and you're like waiting and waiting and wait for it to pop up. That's how I feel right now. I can't even imagine a fourth. I mean, I'll make it happen because I can, not because I can't. But speaking of what we can do, let's start getting into some news. Cybertron scenes in Bumblebee, which I would imagine are going to be flashbacks, but let's read a little bit about it. So it's a spoiler warning. If anyone is really concerned about spoilers for Bumblebee, feel free to skip ahead 3 minutes and 20 seconds. This news post and associated discussion thread may contain spoilers. Thanks to an article based on the info not only... Let's see. We can confirm that the film will open on Cybertron and will be briefly visited later again. Fans of Transformers Generation 1 will be pleased for the film will showcase many iconic Autobots and Decepticons, all which sport designs identical to their 1980s cartoon counterparts.
Oh, so it's going to be in 2D. That's awesome.
Well, I think what's going to be interesting
animated
is if you have like Cybertronian vehicles that look like real world, like American, like automobiles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Bumblebee will represent G1 very well, with the film being set in '86. The Transformers on Cybertron will not only look the way they did in the '80s, but will also be seen transforming into stylish Cybertronian vehicles. So I mean, they're saying all the good stuff. I think that Blitzwing thing is pretty. It's pretty discouraging, though.
The Blitzwing thing. So when did that actually come out? That that's actually Blitzwing?
SDCC.
Okay. I mean, there's no chance it's some stupid misdirection here, like Megatron's dead. Haha.
Oh yeah, it definitely could be a troll.
Yeah.
Just to get a rise out of people.
I mean,
because
you're getting all these people who are raising a fuss about it. Like, it looks like Starscream, but it's Blitzwing. Like it's kind of like that. There's no bad publicity type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the minute he said that shit, apparently that entire hall erupted in like booing and like. Bleh!
Right, but like I feel like at the same time, like mission achieved. Now everybody's gonna go back to the internet and complain. You know, so.
But then Joe told me that they said somewhere else that they're going to go back and try to adjust some of the CG to make him look more like Blitzwing after that reaction.
We'll see.
See, my question is like, I guess it comes like if they see that as a problem, right, and they were trying to fix that problem. So how can they fix that problem? They can call him Starscream, and then have everybody come in to redub their dialogue whenever they say Blitzwing to say Starscream.
Which I guarantee you is probably not going to be all that many references to the name.
Right.
You know, because like I can think of only like a handful. You know, in the old movies where they called out a name. We're not talking like G1 episode where they're like, hey, Smokescreen, what are you doing when you go and finish being Smokescreen over here, Smokescreen, so you can go to the store and buy that Smokescreen toy. You know? Like,
right.
Yeah.
And then they might have to bring in the voice actor for Blitzwing to come in and redo the lines, or get a different voice actor. But I don't know.
Because
I don't know
probably
if you
like
have to do that.
Me, Blitzwing, want to go and fly around.
Right, but I'm not sure you'd have to do that or not.
I don't know.
Or you'd have to completely redesign, or you could change the color palette, right? You could just go in and whatever's red make beige, whatever's white makes purple, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could go that route, or you could go the route of just completely redesigning the digital model. But like, what is the cheapest? And I'm not saying that as if it's a common sense answer. I'm raising that question legitimately. Like, what is the cheapest option there? I'm guessing the voice acting?
Yeah, because, like, I'm thinking, like, I can think of maybe 2 times that Starscream was called by name in the first movie.
Exactly.
And one was when Megatron said something to him, but that might have been,
Starscream. You know, that's about it.
Well, no, I'm thinking that might have been subtitled. And they were talking, they were like, but
that's
then
possible
Ironhide's like, it's Starscream.
Right.
On the dam.
Yep, that happens.
Like the first time that we see Starscream was in the like Cybertronian subtitles when like Starscream reporting in. It's like, okay, you know, yeah, you could totally just change that subtitle.
Right.
Yeah, and then the second one I can't think, and then the third one I can't really think. Like, I mean, I think at some point he's like, he does that line. He's like, "You're an idiot, Starscream," from G1. But like,
is that in the second one or the first one?
I think it's in the.
I think it's the second one on top of the pyramid.
I feel like it was on the third one.
There's a conversation that they have a conversation on the top of a building in one of them, and I think he calls him Starscream there. Like Megatron standing on top of a skyscraper, and Starscream like flies in and transforms, and I can't remember whether that's the first one or the second one. But like I agree with you overall. Like it's just a handful of times that he's mentioned by name.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was the same for Blitzwing, that's an easy fix.
What sticks out for me is the top of the pyramid after Megatron gets half his face blown off. And he was like, "Maybe we should retreat, Lord Megatron." And I think Megatron references him. He's like, "I'm just saying, sometimes cowards live to fight another day." And then they fly off. Because he was very, like, Nosferatu acting in the movies. He was very creepy, like, Megatron. I'm folding my hands together with my long fingers.
And my Dorito body.
Exactly. And my chicken legs.
Fucking cool ranch Starscream over there.
And the Leader Class toy still looks cool. That's the only time that design looks good, is in that Leader Class toy.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to third-party news, DNA Design Predaking upgrade.
I am not impressed with this even slightly. Like I look at it. The first thing that sticks out in the picture is the big sword that they just basically ripped off. Like not entirely, but like the idea is completely ripped off from the MMC one. You know what I'm saying? Like with the combining blades and stuff, and like I don't know. Like that bothers me a little bit. Like it is a different sword, but like undoubtedly that's where you got the idea from. So
yeah, and the hands are ripped off of the fucking MMC Pharaoh Rex upgrade kit as well. Do you know what I mean? Like the clawed fingers and.
So what is the first production exclusive gift? Like what is, like they just look like little cannons, but where do they go on the toy? Like I don't even recognize the part on Predaking anywhere. It's picture.
You got me, buddy.
Picture 2, the one where you see all the parts that are just by themselves. I mean, some kind of
obviously. Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like it's like first exclusive gift. Like I don't even really know what it is. Like so excited for this thing, I don't really know what it is.
I love how like Tantrum and don't tell me Headstrong are like carrying that like foot weapon like it's a boombox.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say, like a big old ghetto blaster, you know?
It's so funny to me. As for the bonus weapons, I don't see them anywhere throughout
they don't
these
put
pictures.
it. They don't put it anywhere in here, and I get it because like this is probably your product shots, but like what the fuck is the thing that you're trying to sell to me is like the exclusive to get the first run? Like just show me in a bonus picture that says like first run bonus pieces, like with an arrow pointing to it, because I don't understand.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. I'll tell you, like that the alt modes of this has nothing to do with the upgrade set, obviously, but the alt modes of this set don't look any better than the G1.
No, they really don't. They look worse in most occasions.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I think the set. I've seen some reviews on the set, and they're like, but you know, it is what it is. I'm like, it's really not that good. Like, you know, like none of the cattle, for lack of better words for the two, the rhino and the bull, but neither of them look good with that leg thigh connector folded between them and stuff. And like the individual robot modes, like they're all stunted by the extra crap hanging off them. Like, I don't know. I feel like you would have been better going the G1 route, like with like the G1 Devastator route where you just had extra pieces. Like, just make it better. Make a better toy.
I agree. You got anything, Greg?
Yeah.
You're a little.
There
you go.
I have my mic up. Yeah. I think stickers are the bonus thing.
And there's like 2 weapons too, though.
Yeah.
There's like 2 guns.
There's exclusive
2 like yellow
gift
guns
in the top right corner.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Sorry. Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
There's for dive bomb for the wings.
Gotcha.
Okay.
The thing I don't want this set, and I don't want the original set nor the upgrade. But one thing I do like about like these companies keep it going is like it's a spirit third party. Like, remember when the consistent like company was Crazy Devi? And you always knew they were gonna drop some chrome wings or some, whatever. Yeah, like that. That's kind of why I like this stuff still. But yeah, I mean, I don't. I don't have any desire for the original source material, so why do I want the fan fiction?
Yeah.
I hear you.
I just added it because we didn't have anything else.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. It's worth talking about. Up next is this MAAS Toys Megatron throne. I think it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think
someone's gonna get their ass beat over this.
Because everybody talks about stealing this design.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone's being cornered at a convention somewhere.
Yeah, like
this chair.
Like this is, I would consider buying this.
I would
depending
too.
on the price.
It needs to be reasonably priced. Like what's your top dollar on this?
60.
I'm thinking 50 for me. Top dollar.
Yeah,
50.
I was throwing in 10 for shipping.
Yeah, I'm throwing in 4 for shipping. It's a gift from BBTS. So,
fair enough.
But yeah, no, I feel like that's like the top of the line. Like I don't need this thing to be 100% solid. Like whatever, go ahead, make it hollow. Just make it hold Megatron and sit there. Yep. You know, like frankly, you get this thing to me for like $20, like 100% in. You know, without a doubt.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you, if it's painted to the nines, I'd spend a little bit more. But if this is what we're getting, just this purple chunk of plastic.
Yeah. I feel like that's what we're going to get is just a purple chunk of plastic, frankly.
I agree.
So.
I agree. And I'm okay with painting it myself.
Yeah. Hey, the cheaper the better, obviously. Especially
but I'm
if,
good.
Especially if another company could come in and sweep in and knock off your thing and produce it for less. Just that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. I'm good with it for cheap, unpainted or painted, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good with it a little bit pricier if it's painted. I'm good either way.
Yeah.
But I'm not good if it's pricey and unpainted. That's where I would fall out. Because I feel like I could make this.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too overly complicated to kind of put something together.
It wouldn't look as clean as this, but it would do the trick.
Yeah.
What about you, Greg? How do you feel about this?
Yeah. I don't really need it, but I do want to get into doing like backgrounds. So maybe if it's the right price, even if he doesn't use it, it'll still be in the background. I don't know. It just all depends.
Right, I hear you.
I'm trying to cut back my impulse purchases like that to zero at this point. So
I don't blame you. We do have a little bit of official news as well.
Hey, before we move on, an official moment of silence for Mr. Deluxe Baldwin. Just
yeah, we could talk about that a bit.
We were all surprised by this news.
So Deluxe has left the show after last week's triggering. It's it was the final trigger.
That was it.
And it's not that we won't miss him. You know, we will. And I don't think he'll ever realize or even believe just how integral he was to this show and how important he was to this show and how much we valued him. But, you know, he's doing other things.
Yep. The winds of change blow through, and you just got to roll with it.
He's going to start a podcast. It's a single man podcast for right now on action figure photography and kind of a how-to approach in marketing your reviews, like what groups to post them in, you know, frequency, that kind of stuff. And I'm anxious to hear it personally. And of course, they could be part of the cool table. And of course, I'm also fucking with all of you. Deluxe is going back.
Bobby, fuck.
I'm sorry.
I tagged you in the important chat too, and everything.
Oh, yeah, I can't keep track of everything.
Pay
Sorry,
attention.
but I'm sorry, but he's going back to school, and a lot of his classes are going to be night classes. So I have talked to him about sending in like a little audio clip every week to kind of keep in touch, and we'll add it into the show, like moments with Matt or Matt minutes or something like that. And
sticking around with Deluxe.
Yeah, and he's down for that. And also, like, I want to talk to him about like what time he gets out of class and maybe hopping on like the last half hour of every show or something and stuff like that. So he'll be around, just not as frequently and not as much in quantity either. But he'll be around, and you know we're sticking with him because we want him to succeed in this school and we want him to be, you know, successful at this HVAC thing. So.
Yeah, but between school and his t-shirt business, do you think he's really going to have time?
That's true. That's true. Oh, damn it. You said I will hate you. God damn it.
Yeah, I hate you.
Your infinite hate and scorn has now been... You know.
I hate you.
My bad. Hasbro news. Takara Encore Unicron pics.
It's a green Unicron.
It is green.
I'm trying to muster up my inner Matt here. My understanding is we're supposed to be excited about this because, like, the real green one is a lucky draw or something like that, and as a result, it's like stupid expensive online. So yeah, no, I don't want to install a new audio hijack. We're fucking using you right now, stupid program. Anyway. So yeah, that's what my understanding last time we kind of discussed that this was coming. Matt said that like some people care because the original one is just stupidly expensive.
Well, and also you could put this out as like a St. Patty's Day.
Right, St. Patty's Day decoration. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Now, I was actually just got back home from the store, so I was kind of like I zoned out on Justin's comment. Did you clarify what this was?
The encore of the lucky draw.
Yeah, but it's a different deco to represent the mini cons making a mirror Unicron from whatever stupid show that was that came out that one time.
Gotcha. Energon or Armada, one of those.
It wasn't Armada because Armada was actually relatively good. So whatever one happened after Armada.
Someday I will get through those
Armada.
DVDs.
I think it was Armada. It was only the last episode. The Minicrons all made they made like a fucking emerald. I don't know. I don't know.
Like, see, really that's the stupid part of my transforming like addiction. I guess you can call it. Like, I've certainly broken the habit more, like, because I haven't gotten all the DVDs that came out, but I'm like, yeah, I need the Transformers Armada, box set. And I'm like, of course I need that. Why wouldn't I need that? And I'm like, never fucking watched it. It's been on the shelf in its wrapper for how many years now? Like 7? Like, I don't know. So.
I have the Japanese series, and I got through Headmasters and just couldn't get through Master Force.
So it took me a long time to get through Master Force, and I finally did. I'm glad I did. Like, Headmasters was better in my opinion. Didn't really like Master Force, and I really hated Victory. Honestly, it just wasn't for me.
See, Justin, that's why I became a privateer.
Yeah.
Was so I didn't have DVDs just sitting around in the wrappers.
Mm-hmm.
A privateer.
I hear you.
You know.
I know.
Now, I think the important thing about this is they did a different deco because they didn't want to alienate their super expensive exclusive.
Well, you shouldn't, like
collecting fan base, so they made it slightly different.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not buying
and then me neither. And then I wouldn't buy it.
No, I'm not getting it. No, hell no. I have the Amazon one that's supposed to kind of look like the movie Unicron, and like even that thing just sits in the closet. So this, if that sits in the closet, this one has no chance of being displayed anywhere. So.
Yeah. And then we got kind of boxed images of the Flame Toys Optimus model kit.
What the hell is this pack mode? What is that?
This was just a troll. Like, it's just a fucking bunch of screws and plastic bags in the box.
But it does show how some of the articulation works, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's, double jointed elbows and the double jointed knees, and a lot of it has that kind of Bondi vibe, and I mean, it looks pretty good put together. Like, I'm not crazy about this representation of Prime, but I'm not mad at this. I don't know what attack mode Optimus is.
I put this in here mainly for the people that keep asking, is it painted? Do you have to paint it? Is it colored plastic? Is it white plastic? Do you have to paint it? Because they've never even... And I mean, I a lot of people have never put model kits together, but...
Right.
They also have never used Google before, so...
Right. It looks unpainted, colored plastic with some decals.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine.
So
I think that's
pretty much model kit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You can't expect more than that.
And he's a little felty for my taste in Optimus.
I don't.
He's a little too gluten free.
I don't dig the whole aesthetic, frankly. Like, I've never really cared for like this type of thing. Like what was it? I think it was like Rebel Tech or Kotobukiya, one of the two companies. They did an Optimus that looks like this, like an action figure. It's just like it doesn't appeal to me. It's not how I envision Optimus. So,
right.
If you like it, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's just not my cup of tea. So
I'm probably because Kotobukiya does statues.
I'm probably gonna pick up.
So it had to have been like Rebel Tech, I'm guessing. So
I'm probably gonna pick up the IDW Prime and Megatron model kits to give them a shot.
Same.
This one, like the picture where it's like from his pelvis up, it looks like two eyes, a mustache, and like a really weird teeth grin.
Yeah, they actually photographed me for that.
Yeah, the French shit. Yeah.
I still haven't shaved that motherfucker off. I'm letting it go. We'll see what happens. I've never had facial hair. I've never bothered to grow it. I'm growing a mustache. I don't care how dumb it looks. And then I'm gonna shave it off November 1st.
But yeah, that's my plan. And I'll tell you what, like, I can see myself getting these model kits and getting rid of some of my MMC stuff, like the transforming stuff, depending on how they're built and how well they look and all that kind of stuff. Like, I can just see that as a possibility, depending on the value of some of this MMC stuff. Like, I have that. I have like a few pieces of MMCs that are like kind of valuable, and like I can definitely see myself swapping out. I'm not mad at this, but of all of their designs, this is literally the one. Well, this and the Bumblebee are literally the ones I'm least interested in. So it's kind of a bummer to see that this one's pretty close to being done for me.
Well, and what's super exciting for me is, like, I want, just like you, I want the IDW versions. And I think I have all the paints needed if I decide to paint them.
Nice.
So, like, yeah, like, I have a perfect silver I never used for Megatron. And, well, it's like a metallic gray. And I have a red and blue for Optimus for a Gundam kit that I never put together either. So if I do decide to paint these, now that I have a space to paint, then I'm set. So I won't have to buy anything extra.
I will say, looking at the picture where like all the sprues are like all over the table and the instructions are out and there's a pair of snips, like when it comes to model kits, like never underestimate how important it is to have a good pair of snips. Like, you can't put a price tag on it. If you come across a pair of snips and they're like $20 or whatever, and like they come highly recommended or from a reputable company, like just spend the $20. You'll thank me later. Like, cry now, laugh later kind of thing.
So what you're saying is you can't put a price tag on a pair of snips, but $20 is a good price tag.
But if you were going to put a price tag on it, $20.
I was just throwing out something ridiculous. The snips that I have came with a 40K box set, and like it came with a pair of snips. And well, that's not fair. To be fair, I have three snips. So I have the one that came with this 40K box set, and all 40K box sets are overpriced.
I think the plural on that is snipperoonies.
Well, and then I have 2 snips on my Star Wars Black Series
Snipperoonies.
shelves. One on my Rebel shelf, and one on my Jedi Academy shelf, or Jedi Throne Room shelves. That's a Star Wars joke. All right.
Good one.
Snips was Ahsoka's nickname.
I got a $3 pair of snips from Michaels from the jewelry section. I have a $15 pair of snips from Amazon, and I have came in a gum plug kit off eBay set of snips, and oddly enough, the cheapest pair of snips I bought were the best ones.
Oh,
but I alternate because I don't want to dull any one pair. So I figured they're probably all the same with a different branding printed on the handle. So I just, because they all look exactly alike, so I just alternate because I don't want to wear any of them down. But yeah, you gave some sound advice for a guy that doesn't build models very much. Good snips and some. I don't want to call them emery boards. What do you call them? The sanding sticks, like all that biz. Like that's important if you want a good looking finished product.
So we can probably knock out the rest of these questions. I did want to comment on the MP collector question from a few weeks back as well. So I'll resurface that one. So, dear SCU crew, I recently heard this question on a sports radio show, and I thought it could be fun. It could be a fun one to toss to the SCU guys. For each of you, or all 3 of us, would you rather be able to have the ability to speak every human language in use today, or would you rather be able to talk to animals? MP collector. Greg.
Oh yeah, thanks. I kind of can talk to my animals. Like, I kind of know what works for them.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'm not like the fucking animal whisperer. I'm just saying, like, my animals, I can be like, pss, 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 and my cat will jump off the thing. And...
So you're going with the foreign language? All right. Justin?
I'm going to go with the animals because I feel like even though like you could talk to everybody, like I feel like there's not necessarily as much business opportunity there. But like if I could talk to animals and tell you exactly what's wrong, like hell yeah, there's lots of money to be made there. You know?
So
why does my dog do this? Like, well, because he kind of hates you. You know, like he's telling me right now.
So I hadn't considered that, and I kind of consider myself to be short-sighted now because I had the exact opposite reaction. I was like, I'd rather speak every human language because I could teach foreign language in like a college setting.
You could.
And you know, and get paid, but I hadn't considered how much money I could make in speaking to animals.
Right, like you could be the consultant for the veterinarian. Like you don't even have to be the vet. You can just be like, listen, he's saying that like this is what's hurting. Right. You know, look into it.
I mean, just the money you can make on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm gonna go with foreign language just to be different, I think. But my initial gut reaction was animals. But you know, I'm a mopper and a driver and a flyer, and mopping. Sometimes you have contracts for people that don't speak English, and like sometimes I had to call one of those like translate lines or use Google Translate and all that kind of shit, and it would make my life a lot easier in that regard, and I would be more efficient at my job if I could speak every foreign language. So that is the responsible choice for kind of my life right now, and I'm gonna take the responsible choice for today.
Responsible.
Yeah. Dear Shattercast crew, greetings. The one-night re-release of the 1986 movie has me excited, and I can't wait to experience it on the big screen for what might be the first time. Having been too young in 1986 to remember if my parents took me, I was wondering if you had the power to go back and insert any character from seasons 1 and 2 into the storyline of the movie, who would it be and what they do in it? And what would they do in it?
Satan?
Satan.
Oh, you can hear me now. Okay, great. You can hear me now.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, can I go back and finish my prior statement?
Yes. Yes. Please.
Please. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what happened was I forgot to jiggle my stick. It happens a lot because I'm using my Xbox right now because my computer is still fucked and I don't know how to fix it. And goddamn, if I have the money to pay somebody to fix it for me, I can talk to my animals and get them to do basic tasks like get off the counter, get off the table, get the fuck out of my way. I did say something about taking my dog OUT. She heard me, and guess who came running from the furthest corner of the townhome? Expecting me to take her outside right now. I would have said to speak all the languages on Earth, but honestly, how many of those languages are going to be speaking back at us in the next 15 years? The way things are going, so I would have picked the speaking to animals fluently thing. So anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just
No, not at all.
For some reason, I don't understand what the malfunction is between the talking and the hearing and the internets and the this and that and the liverwurst, but yeah, I just wanted
and the ripping.
Since there's only 3 of us on here, I figured.
Yeah, no, we got room. So this gentleman who said what characters would be inserted into that storyline from seasons 1 and 2, he said he'd add Jetfire, which couldn't be done because of obvious legal hurdles, and have him die in the process of taking down Devastator during the attack on Autobot City, so we had closure on this fan favorite character. All the best, TJ. To this day, and I mean, I know why it happened, I understand and all that shit, but to this day, I am always a little bummed that the combiners aren't in it. You know, like the aerial bots and Protectobots and Combaticons and Stunticons. I would have loved to have seen them in that battle. So that would be my go-to choice. That fact that how taken back everybody is when Devastator shows up.
Devastator.
Look, Devastator. But by that time he was kind of already relatively obsolete. You know, it's it always fucks with me when I watch that movie. So that's what I would add in. Justin?
So, I'm torn on this one. Is Autobot City, is that supposed to be Metroplex?
I don't believe so.
Because I always wondered that, was Autobot City intended to be Metroplex in the city mode, and that's why we didn't see anything. I think it would have been cool to see something like that, like the City Bots or something.
Mm-hmm. Because they came around in season 3.
Yeah. And it's the same reason, like you said, you'd like to see the combiners mixing it up and stuff. Yeah, maybe I do think the combiners would be better because, like you said, with the Devastator scene, it was cool. But what if it was a whole new combiner you saw for the first time? I don't know.
Yeah.
With Autobot City, it's the same thing as the combiners. They were just getting into introducing what was known as Scramble City.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept was Autobot City was Metroplex, but at a very early stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing as why you didn't see the combiners, because the scramble combiners interacted with the later City Bots.
Right.
So it was trying to incorporate some of those concepts, but it just wasn't super developed at the time.
Gotcha.
That's what I think there's actually a featurette on one of the DVDs or one of the various releases of the movie where they talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they, a lot of them include that Scramble City shit, those episodes or whatever.
When did MPO1 come out in America?
The 25th.
25th. Yeah, so the DVD from that time was the one that had the Scramble City, and I think it's on the Blu-ray too, just because they were lazy.
Actually,
and copied.
It might have been the 20th. Let me just check, just so we don't get corrected. But yeah, well, like I think that like that's like even the Autobot City was like part of like Greg was saying, like it was like a precursor to them coming up with the idea of it was the 20th anniversary. It was a precursor to them coming up with the idea of city bots and all that shit. But I think by the time that they initially went into production on, you know, Transformers the movie, like just all that later season 2 shit, like the second half of season 2, like it wasn't even a thing. So they just had nothing to work off of in regards to a lot of those characters.
Yeah, they were just trying to fold in those new toys that they got. They were trying to figure out ways to like fold them into the batter.
But like in the Scramble City was like there's like a reason why that shit came out in Japan. It's like the movie didn't hit in Japan until much later. Yeah. And like they were trying to tie the shit together. So they like did that extra shit in Japan to like try to fill the void, so to speak.
Well, and those toys were already like slated for a Japanese release. So like, yeah, they were trying. Yeah, exactly. They were trying to fold it into the bigger fiction where they could, because they wanted to sell those toys, but America just hadn't caught on yet because they were still trying to flesh out like the early shit. So.
Well, and the Japanese didn't get the movie until like well after that shit was released.
Well,
So, like,
exactly. And that's why
they were confused. Like I think their general audience was confused, so they did that in an attempt to try to explain the world they were in. But there's some shit to it like that.
No, that's pretty much nail on the head. That's pretty much exactly what it was.
What would be your characters that you'd include, Greg?
Godzilla, G.I. Joe, E-Man. I don't know, man. Like I'm just of that age where I think that movie's pretty much perfect, exactly where it is.
Yeah, I think like the honest answer is like, you know, for me, I enjoy the movie as it is. Like I can't see really necessarily adding anything. You know, like because like envisioning how the movie would change because of adding extra characters is something that I'm not really sure how I would envision it. You know, like the movie itself is like the best Transformers fiction I think that exists personally. So I don't know. At least one of them. Not necessarily the best, but you know, at least it set a good bar. You know.
I 100% agree. Like I think that like it is the culmination of G1. Like it is like the greatest common denominator. Like, but it just like the timing of it just does. It threw me off then. Like I remember being confused in the theater, thinking to myself like, where the fuck are they? Why are these guys showing up?
Mm-hmm.
Why are these guys showing up?
Hey! Breaking news: Matt's home.
Matt's home. Your daddy's home. Your daddy's home to stay.
I think he wants to get added in.
I added him.
Is he here? No, he's not here yet. He's like, man, fuck, man. They don't want me on the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I added him. It says it's ringing. Yeah, I don't know.
There he is.
Hello.
Hi, boy.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey. Sorry, I'm late.
It's all right. What did you get this week?
Hold on a second. I just got the Fans Toys Dracula.
Shh, you don't want Lisa to hear. I believe Lisa to hear. Shh, quieter.
Yeah, that's all I got was Fans Toy Dracula. Or
Gotcha.
Mountain.
We talked briefly about your hiatus. Did you want to talk at all about that?
Oh yeah. Everybody knows I'm in school and everything, and I have night classes on Monday through Thursday, and that's when we usually record. So I will not be on unless tonight we got out early because all we talked about was the syllabus and stuff. I won't be on till probably December, almost all this stuff. So a lot of people will be happy, but some will not.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But,
I think
I don't want. It's not something I want to choose, but it is my life, so I have to
Hopefully you can send in something every week, or if you get out, like if you get out, it's a reasonable time or whatever, and come in for the last half hour or hour or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send something in there.
Matt, who would you want in the '86 movie?
Mm-hmm.
Who would you want from season 1 or 2 that is not in the movie to have been in the movie?
Oh. Season 1 or 2. Oh, that was in the movie. Was not in the movie. Have you already answered?
Yes. I said the combiners of the second half of season 2.
Okay.
Greg said no one, and Justin said the city bots, but even though they're not in season 1 or 2. But then he also agreed that the combiners would have been nice.
I agree with that.
The person who asked the question said Jetfire.
Oh, Jetfire. Okay. I too, the combiners would have been cool. That would have been what Superion and Defensor and
Venusaur and Bruticus.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, I think that they would have been in, especially with Devastator, the whole battle scene at the beginning.
Right.
I think that would have been pretty sweet for having those. I can't think of anybody else that.
Were you confused at all when you were a kid and they weren't there?
Yeah, I was confused at a lot of them, like Inferno, Grapple, most of the season 1 characters were not hardly seen or at all. I mean, they were like Sunshaker was like a just a little filler and everything. But what confused me was why they were killing them off. They were all just
of course,
and everything. But Inferno, and Grapple would have been pretty cool.
I think one of them is in there. Like either Inferno or Grapple. There's one of them that's in there. Like you can kind of see him. It's like
is he a background character?
Yes, it's like him and Trax. That you can kind of make out.
Him and Trash. Am I right?
I'm excited to go see the movie in September again in the theaters.
Yeah, I'm passing on it.
Are you really?
I am. Like we had this conversation on Nerd Rage a bit. Like I just don't think I'm the repeat theater guy. Like unless like like they had that whole gauntlet scene laid out in animatics, like or storyboarded rather. Mm-hmm. They had the when Ultra Magnus drives through and he has all the cars like side swiping all them on the back of his truck, and they drive through and deal with the Constructicons once they've been kind of split apart.
Yeah.
Like if they would have done that and added that in, even if it was like 30 seconds, I'd have been there. But like just going to see the same movie, like when I can watch it at home, and I think also if like my kids were super into it, I would take them. Yeah. Like we were talking about like Dark Knight. Like Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies of all time. Transformers, the '86 movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. But like I'm not going to see Dark Knight either. But like if my kids were super into Batman and like they were watching Batman Begins and waiting to see the next one, like I would take them to the theater for that experience. But I just can't justify it.
You want to know one reason I don't really care for these types of re-releases and stuff?
Tell me.
It's the Rocky Horror Picture Effect. Like I don't even like that movie, but whatever. It's the same thing that like the like iconic statements. Like everybody's like, I know the lines, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it along with the movie. And I'm like, I don't fucking want that. Like.
Right.
Like I'm trying to. If I was gonna go and watch this, it's to recreate. How it was when I was a kid. Sitting in the theater, seeing it on the big screen. I don't give a shit that all of Starscream's lines or. Every word Galvatron says, like, good for you, shut up, and let me watch the movie, You know
what I really hate is going to a Marvel movie the opening night, and everybody laughs. It was just fun and everything, but you miss a lot of the dialogue when everybody's laughing so long. So you're like, I fucking missed something. It could have been something important.
And I feel like a lot of times when I go to see a Marvel movie specifically, people laugh at shit that's not intended to be funny. Like The one that pops to mind is like the most obvious example is in Civil War, when War Machine plummets to the ground, right? And then Vision, was it Vision that comes up, or somebody comes up?
Vision catched him, didn't he?
Yeah, somebody comes up and says, I'm sorry. And Tony blasts him away. Like they're like, Tony, I'm so sorry, and Tony just puts his hand up and blasts them away.
Well, Vision shot him down. So
Vision shot him down.
Oh, Vision shot him down. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought he got caught, but no, he didn't. Okay.
But I can't remember who. No, it was Falcon. It was Falcon. Because Falcon's trying to catch him, and he can't catch him. So he lands, and he's like, oh, Tony, I'm sorry, and Tony blasts him away. And like in the theater, like everybody laughed. But like when I watched that movie, I'm like, this isn't intended to be funny. Like, and that shit pisses me off. But like,
y'all are some soul sucking fucking Grinches. Jesus.
Now, Greg, you're going to see the movie, right? You got tickets.
I don't want anyone to laugh. I don't want anyone to have a good time.
No. That's
I could just watch it in my private theater with my sconces in the basement.
That's true. It sucks.
But like, if everybody's like, it's like if like, like Optimus Prime is shot and killed, and like everybody's laughing, I'm like, this is inappropriate.
That's stupid.
This is an inappropriate reaction to this moment. But like, I remember I do have a fond memory. I was at TFCon Canada, and I went, like, they always show the '86 movie like on a projector screen, and I took Jaina down there, and Jaina started quoting it, and like people started like, 'cause she knew the whole movie line for line, and like people started watching her. She ended up standing on one of the chairs quoting the entire movie, the curse words, all of it, and like people were just laughing and watching her, and like I treasure that memory. But like, I feel like if I were to go take Jaina to see it in September, like, she's just gonna sit there and watch it. And now I have like the most recent memory is like less impactful than the last memory I have of it. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, Bobby, can I give you a little bit of advice with that?
Sure.
No one cares if your kid knows all the lines from the movie. Justin doesn't care if she knows all Starscream's lines. Just sit there and shut up.
Pretty much.
He's trying to watch the movie.
yeah.
But at least at TFCon, the thing is that I didn't like I paid for the convention, but I'm not paying to go to this one-time screening in whatever,
Right. And I mean, like, if people were like looking at her pissed off, I would have been like, sit down and be quiet, Jaina. You know what I mean? But like, everybody was like laughing and clapping for her. You know what I mean? She felt like $1 million.
Because they see that as another generation that likes Transformers.
Exactly.
And then they're like, it's gonna
go on. Like a 4-year-old girl say, "Open, damn it, open."
Yeah.
Like, and like all these would anyone else attempt?
What do now?
Yeah, and would anyone else attempt to fill his shoes and all this kind of shit that he's like, like she's like quoting, like, people were like laughing their ass off, and that was awesome. But like,
and everybody goes through phases. We all went through phases there.
Sure.
So she's just grown up. So.
Well, not really. She's just into dumber shit.
Well, yeah, dumber shit. I'm just saying. We have G.I. Joe, He-Man phases, and Mask phases, and
they're all going through They're all going through a pretty heavy Pokemon phase at the moment. But
are they playing the game on the phone?
No, they're just like watching the cartoons. They draw the characters. They have like little play Pokemon fights. Which is so funny because like Jaina like is always like throwing these like elaborate attacks. Like she'll be like Jaina spinning flame, and like she'll like do this like whole elaborate thing, and like Selena will just run, and she'll go and Selena will go, Selena, dodge it.
They got girls that draw. There's always those fan girls at TFCon and everything. They're always in the corner drawing Transformers.
Yeah,
and stuff. It's kind of weird, but
cool.
Whatever makes you happy. Hey, I'm happy for you.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Hold on. How are the girls in the corner drawing Transformers any different than the grown-ass men in R.S. Sally drawing Transformers?
There's no difference. I'm just saying there is.
Oh,
because I said it's weird? I'm sorry. It's not weird. I mean, I'm glad
I was just curious. Like, I was curious as to your
statement.
No,
I'm just saying you see it. I mean, you see it. I mean, every TFCon I've gone to, there you have the they do the cosplay too, and usually they're cosplayers. And they're over in like the main, or the walk-in before you get into the TFCon, they're usually over in a corner or something with a big old group, drawing and stuff and everything. And I always wanted to go and talk to them, but I think they kind of don't want to talk to guys or something.
Are you talking about like the girl with like the punk rock vest and like the people she hangs with?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, those are IDW comic artists, Matt.
No. These are cosplayers. I'm not talking about that.
I was gonna say, if it's the people
they do
I'm
join
thinking
along.
about,
I'm sure
those are IDW fucking
no, not
comic
them. I'm
artists
talking about
working on their
there's a lot of
panels.
fangirls now that like
cosplayers.
they'll like sit and like doodle and sketch and stuff.
Yeah, you'll see.
They should get tables at Artist Alley.
Yeah, they should. They should.
I'm gonna get one this year.
Real power. You should get one, Matt.
I already have one. I got a table. I got an Artist Alley table.
You got to order a whole bunch of your own T-shirts and then
exactly
tack on $5.
You should get a couple rolls of butcher paper and like every time someone comes up, you put one down and you fucking sit in some ink and you do 4 times on your butcher paper, and then when you stand up, it's a commission.
I'm
it's like
waiting
Matt's
for
ass print.
I'm waiting for somebody, and I already got some hints or something that somebody's going to ask me for a toilet selfie with them with my shirt on. I have a feeling somebody's going to ask me for that.
I hope so. Let's move on to this next question. Hey, Shattercast. Hope you guys are doing well. Gather around. It's story time. The month is June, the year 1977. Having recently graduated kindergarten, yes, I'm old, my dad says to me, how's about seeing a movie today? It's called Star Wars. It's supposed to be better than Star Trek. What? I said. The next thing I know, I'm right in the middle of the best movie ever made. Yes, there's many factors that make it an exceptional film, but what really set it apart for me was the fact that the hero's name, not Han, it's Luke, is the same as my dad's. Similarly, when I took my son to see the Lego movie a few years back, I'm pretty sure he got the same feels when the hero's name turned out to be the same as his dad. How about you, SCU? Is there any instance where a movie scene or entire movie was enhanced by whom you initially experienced it with? Honestly yours, Emmett. Luke. Still your fan. Definitely. For me, so my dad was a firefighter, and he was very into the job, and Backdraft came out in 89 or 88. I was in 5th grade, and it came out on a Friday, and I used to have to go to my mom's house on a Friday, and then I wouldn't be back to my dad until Sunday, which sucked for me. And he took me out of school early, which my dad would never do. Like maybe for like a doctor's appointment or something, but like never for anything fun. Like never to like go, like we take our kids out of school all the time. We're like, we're going to the fucking zoo or whatever. Like my dad would never do anything like that. So he took me out of the movies to go see Backdraft in the theater. And, I love that movie. It was the first time where I was like, it made me a little fearful of what my dad did for a living. Like it started fucking with me a little bit, but like I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Like I still quote it to this day, like you go, we go, and you're doing it wrong and shit like that. Like you check that door for heat, Tim. It's like shit that I just end up saying all the time. Yeah, that's probably the most, kind of treasured and valued movie experience, just because he took me out of school. It was like a special thing, like just me and my dad. And there's a few more I have with him. Like I was in chorus, which because I was a fucking cool kid, and cool kids are in chorus. And
exactly.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out in the theaters, and it came out on a Friday, but I had a chorus concert that Friday. And the chorus concert like ended at like 8, and the movie started at like 8:15. And like as soon as the concert was over, we like ran out of the fucking thing into the car over to the movies to like watch Turtles in the movies, and like that was a special one to me. And A Time to Kill is the first movie I ever saw with my wife in the movies. So like that one's special. It was a strange choice in hindsight, but those are the first 3 that come to the top of my head. You guys?
One of my first one was with my wife now was Revenge of the Fallen, and that was the first Transformer movie that I took her to, and she finally knew that that was a big part of my life. So it was kind of a special moment for me. My dad didn't really take me to the movies. He passed away when I was younger, so we didn't really get to go watch a lot of movies. But I do remember when he was in the hospital, I stayed with some other friends of my parents and everything, and they owned the theater in Paragould, Arkansas. It's a little small town here, up northeast Arkansas. And they owned the theater, so I got to go watch the movies all the time. I remember I watched Footloose like 7 days in a row. I mean, that was awesome.
The power of dance, man.
I know, man. Kevin Bacon,
bringing communities together.
Fuck yeah! But yeah, I remember I watched a bunch of movies because I stayed with them and everything. So, but yeah, watching the Revenge of the Fallen with my wife was probably one of my best moments.
Greg?
No.
Justin?
Oh, I was going to elaborate.
I know, but it was too fun to just continue.
Yeah, just moving on.
It's probably best if I don't elaborate.
Hey, Greg?
Go ahead.
And go on.
Well, I didn't have that kind of childhood. Me going to the movies was a chore. The only one who would willingly take me was my sister's. Was either my sister or her ex-husband.
But I mean, you go to the movies now. It could be. It doesn't have to be from your childhood. It could be anytime.
Oh yeah, well every movie's special because me and Kit fucking flask that shit up. We get the back two seats in the corner of the theater. We sit against the wall, like we can see every angle. We get a giant ass fucking soda. We fill that shit up with vodka, and we have a good time. We cuddle, we snuggle.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good time. It's good night out. And we live 2 blocks from the theater, so it's not like we're like crazy drunkards driving across town. Like we literally go through 2 stoplights and we're home on a road that no one uses. So.
Like Joker and Harley? No.
No.
Okay.
Justin?
More like Mary Jane and Peter.
I can't really think of any specifics from when I was like a kid that I'm, super fond of. That, some special moment. I can't think of anything like that. I will say that my wife and I are fans of like the animated like type movies, and I would say like the special one probably. Well, I guess there's 2. So we saw the first movie we saw, or not the first movie, last movie we saw before we had a kid was Storks, because that was perfectly timed. So that was nice. And then the first one we saw after having a kid was Boss Baby, and so that was also perfectly timed, I guess. So they're kind of special. So.
Yeah, for sure. I have another one like when I saw Force Awakens. I saw it with Adam, and it was the first Star Wars movie that came out after my buddy Mario died, who was a big Star Wars fan, and we like bought him a ticket, and we sat in the movies, and like it was sold out, packed, and there was one empty spot, and like people were kind of looking at us like, are you guys being dicks? And this chick who was sitting on the other side of the empty seat, I was like, excuse me, and she's like, yeah, and I was like, look, I know it's getting crowded in here, I know people are looking at this seat, but my buddy, and I told her the story, and like I was expecting some pushback, and she was like, oh no, he's here, and I was like, damn, like
that's awesome.
Yeah. So like I value that as well.
I should also throw out Force Awakens as one I value too, just because that was one of the first movies post having a baby that we actually had someone to watch said baby so we could go to the movies. So
good.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That was the last movie I've been to in the theater. God damn, I gotta go find something to watch. Some kids.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that is a true story.
I'm gonna watch The Meg this weekend, I think.
Wait, what was your last movie?
Force Awakens.
No, I'm sorry, not Force Awakens. The whatever the second one was called.
Oh, Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
No, the second one, the last one that just came out.
Last Jedi. That's the last
Jedi.
Jedi.
No,
yeah,
actually,
I'm sorry.
You mean the 8th one?
Yeah.
That was the Last Jedi.
You knew what I meant. But yeah, no. So that's what I actually meant. That was the last movie that I've been able to see in the theater. So.
You're not gonna see Infinity War in theaters?
No, I caught that by other means because.
Oh, that came out this week too.
Angry Children. Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot to mention I got that, and I got the quote unquote Walmart exclusive version, which doesn't include a freaking digital copy. So I'm like, this shit is broken. Take it back.
Did you get a statue or anything? Or?
No. The only thing that was exclusive about it is that there's no digital copy. It's just the Blu-ray. I'm like, what the hell is exclusive about this? Waste my time.
So Jason Sawyer asks, when you form Interrupticus, who the fuck are your enemies? Or do you just stand there interrupting yourself like how Computron talks to himself?
Interrupticus, his main enemy is Robert. It's always Robert.
I feel... no, go ahead, Matt.
No, go. No.
I think that Interrupticus only has the enemies of like people that are polite when they speak.
TFW.
The enemies in my head are silence and quality.
Silence and quality.
What happened to Robert?
And they're like duocons.
Exactly.
What did Robert do? He went to Coney Island?
Oh yeah. Robert, in his infinite wisdom, was like, "Hey, are we recording tonight or tomorrow?" And then he's like, "Oops, totally forgot. You guys told me we were recording tomorrow." So,
yeah, scheduling is another enemy of Interrupticus.
Well, that's just that one of the one of the most profound limbs of Interrupticus. You know, that gives it all its power. It can't be on time for the combination.
Can Interrupticus get in a Detox?
Yeah.
I think
another enemy of Interrupticus is ordering Chinese takeout at 7:15 when you know we record at 7:30.
Yep, that's another one.
Snake wine.
Or kids.
What's his drink that he always drinks?
Jameson.
That's another enemy of Interrupticus.
Big collars.
No, tight collars.
Oh, tight collars are big collars would be his thing. Tight collars are
bedtime for children.
Yes. Have y'all gone on y'all's trip yet, Bobby? Is that soon?
That is 2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks. Okay. Cool. Can't wait to hear the stories.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm gonna try to record some stuff with him too.
Please do. Do a Brokeback Mountain too at Little Park.
I'm gonna have to ask you to relax.
Okay, I'll relax on that one.
But I might have to tell him I can't quit him. Let's see. So the next question is, hi there, guys.
Hello.
Which Hasbro releases do you think can hold a place on the MP shelf? I have 6-shot place holding now and used Leader, Blaster, and Deluxe Warpath in the past. But who do you think? This question is for those of you that do not hate Hasbro, like Bobby. More of a Matt Deluxe question, but I would like to hear what you all think. So I'm not going to answer because you specifically say. But I do want to clarify. I don't hate Hasbro. I spend a lot of money with Hasbro, just not on their Transformers.
I think it's very important to also add that Bobby was in all capital letters.
That is true. Did you start that fucking thread, Tiderium hanger? Was it you?
That's a good one. Hey, you notice how I fucking said, and Greg said something about it too. I said, well, hey, just check out Shatteredcast and all that stuff, and somebody said I spammed. I was like, oh god.
I haven't looked at it at all.
Oh, it's golden. It's
Matt. Yeah, Matt's like, well, while we're all here, check out Shatteredcast Uncut. And someone's like, spam, admins, close this down. And I'm like, how the fuck is a post about a podcast that Bobby's on and a thread about Bobby's opinions spam?
Right.
And I got no response. I got a couple of likes, but no responses.
Golly. A Hasbro figure that would be a masterpiece figure. That's a hard question. I have to think about that one. Offhand, I can't think of anything. You know, they have their place, you know, in the Transformer world. But masterpieces are masterpieces for a reason.
In the recycling bin.
I I'll recycle your Marvel Legends.
Dude, that's what real quick. That's what I've been saying to my kids recently. Like whenever, like especially like Selena is like overly dramatic. She'll be like, nobody loves me in this house. Nobody likes me, and I'll be like, yeah, go sit down at the trash can. You know, and then like you know, Jaina every now and then will get on and be like, nobody let me do what I wanted to do today, and I was like, and we never will. Now go sit in the recyclables. Like so, like each of them have a different place, and Leia goes in the garbage disposal.
Wait till Leia gets old enough to start doing dramatic.
Yeah, but that's where she's going. That's where she's going, the garbage disposal.
But offhand, I cannot really think. I've had to look through my collection, but like I said, masterpieces have a place for a reason, and I don't think, you know, when I review like Hasbro figures and I review masterpiece, I know that them pieces are not as good as a masterpiece, you know. So I mean, I just don't think anything offhand right now that I could label a regular retail figure as a masterpiece.
Right.
As in the Hasbro line. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying, you know, like I said,
you're just saying they're not good enough.
Right. Masterpieces are called masterpieces for a reason.
And these are far less than that. All right.
Right.
Good.
You know, I would hope so. You know, they're $15 toys. You know, which is
some are
jumping up in price too.
Some are 50. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, some are 50. But I mean, you know, they're not made for masterpiece line. So
I agree.
But I hope that answered your question.
Greg or Justin, do you have any?
So
I
go ahead.
No, let him go first. No, because I'm gonna. No, you let him go. I got one. I got a good one.
So I was surprised that Matt has no answers, because I actually do have answers. And way back in the day, there was this Evolution of Bumblebee pack, which had the animated Bumblebee, classics Bumblebee.
The movie. Yeah.
Was it a movie Bumblebee? I can't remember, because I pretty much got rid of the whole pack. But the Bumblebee it was like a yellow with like a black deco on the side.
Oh, the Halloween one, you mean?
Was that?
You're not talking about the Halloween one, are you?
I don't know the Halloween one. I just know it's yellow.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, I know exactly.
I can find a picture. I'll send it to the chat. But anyway, so that one, back in the day, I picked up a Vengsta head for it to turn it into hubcap, and I think it's fine as a hubcap on a masterpiece shelf, at least currently. Or not hubcap, I'm sorry, bumper. Yeah, so if they release an official bumper, I'll probably swap it out, but at least for now, like, it's good enough, because the weird classics alt mode kind of fits in my head as bumper, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, the what was it? I can't even remember what was the official Hasbro Transformers convention called? The Fun Pub. Anyway, the Fun Pub.
Oh, TFCC.
Yeah, them.
Mm-hmm.
But the Fun Pub, Run Amok and Runabout, I think they fit fine. Again, I would rather have like better representations that are their alt modes and fit in the line, but like they're at least fine for now, you know. And I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else that would fit in there, aside from maybe those little Hasbro Sharkticons. They kind of look kind of cool with the bigger Sharkticons. It's just like little mini Sharkticons.
I'm sorry, before Greg, then I could say the Titan Returns, Misfire, Trigger Happy, and Slutslinger. They're really good. I could not see them replacing a masterpiece, but I could put them in as a masterpiece because they're really good. I think they're the best out of that line. And Top Spin and Twin Twist out of that line is really good too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Greg.
No, you're fine. I'm patient. I'm like Zen Master over here with my answer. Are we ready?
What are you going to say then? Yes.
I think my Hasbro Masterpiece Soundwave True Exclusive looks great on my Masterpiece shelf, especially after I painted his visor red.
Nice.
Well, I had a question for Matt. Do any of the
Oh, come on. Don't steal my thunder.
No.
You know I'm right. You know I won this question. You know I fucking
No, absolutely. No. I 100% agree. I was just curious because what you said made me think of something. Do any of the studio series movie stuff fit in with the with the Masterpiece movie stuff? Like, does any of that work?
Does anyone care?
No, I mean, I don't necessarily, but I figure it was worth a talk.
I love the Voyager and the Leader class. The Megatron is really good. You know, it has that track syndrome, but overall, it's a really great figure, and I could see that as a masterpiece Megatron movie thing. Blackout is really good. I can see that too. The Lockdown I just looked at is really good too. It's a lot better than what they put out from the AOE one. And I could kind of see, but you have unique toys one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was
it's nowhere.
Okay.
Nowhere near.
Gotcha.
But if you didn't have the unique toys one, I could see that one also. That's probably it is the best deluxe out so far. But I do love the Grimlock. I'm sorry, the Grimlock is really good too.
What about that Blackout? Do you think that one will stand on the MP shelf and kind of blend in?
Yeah, I think so. I think I can put it in with a bunch of movie.
I can see that.
Like Prime and B and all that stuff. If you put that back there, I don't think anybody could tell the difference.
I wish they would do studio series stuff for some other stuff that I'd be interested.
Me too.
You know,
because they put more love into it.
Yeah, exactly. Give that a shot. And we have another question from Tiberium Hanger. Hi guys. Most of you will be at NJCC this year.
Oh wait.
I have to correct you there.
Same thing as Justin, I think.
What's that? Most of you will be at NJCC this year. That is incorrect.
Excuse
me, Justin, are you going?
I will not be there this time.
Oh.
Okay, so the answer to that question, the answer to that statement is actually one of us will be there.
Robert not going?
No, Robert's not going. Justin's not going. Matt shouldn't go, and Greg is not going.
I thought about it. I thought about it hard.
But I will definitely be there, and I recommend anybody come by, hang out, and I'll be with the Realm guys. I think they all go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I found a little wrap there that I quite enjoy, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Then I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. Those guys are good guys.
Yeah, they are. Oh, I'm sorry. I lost 5 more pounds. I'm down to 20 pounds.
Let's make noise for that, goddammit.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Cool.
So what happened at Buffalo Wild Wings? Did Dust drop a track or something? Like, what kind of rap did you find?
No.
That's good.
Because I've gone to Buffalo Wild Wings in the past, and I got their wings and have been far less than impressed. I think they're trash. But I know they like to go, and I'm not the one that's going to be a party pooper. So if we're all going, even though it's not my restaurant of choice, I'm going to go. So I went, and then I was like, well, I'm going to try something. You know, like I kind of feel like it's Buffalo Wild Wings, right? Like you got to have the wings. Like you don't go to Pizza Hut and get the pasta. Like you're an idiot. You know, so like.
I do.
So, well, you know.
No, you don't. You're just saying that.
But like,
nobody gets that.
I feel like, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try something. And I tried this wrap, and it was fucking delicious. It was great. Outstanding. I've been thinking about it nonstop ever since.
Damn.
Like, yeah. No,
I think
it was
Brink
really
found,
good.
I think Brink said something on ETR that he found a barbecue place or something down the road from, because there's a barbecue place in the hotel, right?
Correct. That's
I
fair.
think Brink and then said he found a barbecue place right down the road. I think they're going to that maybe Friday or something. I don't know. I heard him say something on ETR about it.
Yeah.
One thing Jersey's known for, it's our barbecue.
But my whole family's going. I'm anxious because there's like a pizza. Cool. Yeah, there's a pizza spot that I wanted to check out for like the longest time, and
nice.
So I'm hoping that they can run and give me some pizza while we're up there. And there's like Wegmans across the street. My wife can't help herself around Wegmans, so.
What's Wegmans?
It's like a fancy. Yeah, it's like a fancy ass supermarket, but they have like food and shit too.
Do you know Whole Foods, Matt?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing.
Oh, okay. So you get some good cheeses and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, my wife loves some cheese.
Oh yeah.
Wegmans has more regular supermarket variety, but they're very similar to Whole Foods.
Okay. Yeah, we got Whole Foods around here.
So he says, will you take some footage of the event for those of us that cannot attend? Would be a great video. You always have stories to tell after these events. Thanks for the great discussion. So it is my plan to get some extensive video footage for a video the following week. It is my plan. Now, sometimes my plans fall short of what I actually can accomplish, but it is my plan.
I think it falls short. You know what I mean?
Am I right? Husky face?
There are 2 official pages for NJCC footage I found. One is www.facebook.com/RollMaCollectors.
Yeah.
And the other is www.facebook.com/Eddie Tuspints Massey.
Yeah.
He already said he was going to do that.
So if you join that Realm of Collectors group on Facebook, just search Realm of Collectors. Like they post tons of shit from NJCC in there, but I'm also going to attempt to get some pretty extensive footage. There was some footage I should have got the last time I went of some pretty funny stuff that was in.
Is Hung going down with you?
Yes, okay. He will be there, even though he's not answering my calls tonight. Should I call him one more time? Give him one more shot?
Call him one more time. Give him one more shot.
All right.
Give him one more chance before we write him off.
Yeah, that was a good interview, by the way. I don't think I told you that, but it was a really good interview with him. That's who I got my
drove all the way down to
Dracula from. Was him. I really appreciate it.
I feel like he's purposely ignoring him at this point.
Probably. He knows he's going to be on SCU.
Yeah.
Your call has been forwarded.
Oh, yeah. He swapped.
Oh, he sent you to voicemail, too. Yeah. That was like 2 rings.
I know.
I'm going to sort his ass out come Saturday.
Bobby's gonna be trying to put me on Shatteredcastonline.
I know. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not on there tonight.
It's always a good time to come by Hung and I's spot because we're cracking on each other pretty much all day long. So there has literally been people that have come by the tables and we've been like, "Can we help you with anything?" And they're like, "No, we're just here for you guys."
Let's see what happens. Oh, do you got a Tempest? Yes, we do.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Tempest can hand out it left and right. I have a ton of toys I'm selling up there from Joe's collection. So if you want to touch something,
about the movie stuff.
Yeah, so if you want to touch something that Joe has once held near and dear to his heart, against his soft, soothed dolphin skin.
Does have no hair on his own.
Yeah, I'm not trying to touch your dick, Bobby, but
no, his soft, soothing dolphin skin.
Yeah, I know. I heard exactly what you said. Like I said, I'm not trying to touch your dick, Bobby.
It's made out of my dick.
Well, he's held it against his soft, smooth.
Oh well. Skin. I can neither confirm nor deny its reports.
I read the fan fiction online. I know how much of it's true.
yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it. It's a short show tonight, but you know what? They can't always be long ones, so to speak. Once again, I'd like to reiterate: if anyone ever takes issue with what I have to say, I will gladly debate you on camera and in a peaceful, like healthy, positive discussion. You know, or you can run to the boards. Whatever.
Did you talk about that tonight?
Yeah, briefly.
I'll have to listen to that.
Okay. Actually, can I add something? Because
sure.
I don't think it's immediately clear, and it might not even be clear to me. It's not about drama. Well, actually, to add to the drama, I think if you do debate someone, it should be shared between both channels. If both parties have a channel, just to have a level playing field. I'm not part of it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if they're gonna edit it, then that's cool. But if I'm
I think the same video should be the same thing should be. It should be equal ground. That's the whole point.
It depends on who's putting the work in.
No, I hear you. Okay, but anyway, that has nothing to do with me. It was just something I was thinking about when you mentioned it earlier tonight. As far as T-shirts go and merchandise, we are keeping a list, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And once we get enough people to make an order, we will be making an order and contacting those people.
How many is enough people?
Here's the thing. I'm thinking 25.
Okay. We're not even close.
No, but here's the thing. We're going to make an order for TFCon. So if we get enough people before then we'll fulfill the order before then. But if we can't, then we'll have an order around TFCon. Do you know what I mean? Like that's and that'll be the way that we do it.
I know I responded to a gentleman today. I don't know if anyone else responded to him. I couldn't tell.
No.
I emailed it a couple times, but I responded to him today.
So me and Bobby and Robert will be at TFCon too. Are we good? I guess we'll hand the shirts out there. I guess that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I could use another shirt too. So.
Okay, yeah, we can make that happen.
Are you driving? You are driving, Bobby.
Yeah, we're renting a Suburban.
Okay, so you'll have enough room to okay.
Pack all
you're renting us. Who is it? Everybody? You're bringing the family?
Yeah, the whole Get Along gang.
Nice. That's gonna be a long trip, dude.
Well, we're breaking it up. We're gonna do like a day in Pittsburgh and a day somewhere else. And...
Oh, okay, that's fine. Schittsburg.
Yeah, but I like.
Let me ask me some fries on a sandwich.
I like looking at old construction and stuff. Like I like seeing the type of stuff. It interests me.
I'd love to go back up there. That'd be very neat.
Tommy, how do you feel about bridges?
I feel like I try not to burn them, and
what about road closures?
Yeah, no, I know they're famous for that shit.
You're gonna love Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Real quick, also, like I've been trying to fix the outro for the longest time, but I can't get Robert D kind of cornered in the same space when I'm also like in a place where I can work to get the outro edited. But just because we got some extra time, there are 3 other shows that are not mentioned in the outro. They are in our notes every week that are part of the Cool Table Network. One is called Building Up to It. It's a podcast about Lego. Paul C is part of it. Bricks is part of it. Yeah, and they're very knowledgeable guys, and they really know their shit when it comes to Lego. The other one is Breaking the Mold, which is a discussion-based format show for stuff going on, and a ton of great guys on that show. And then there's, and then there's Fresh Communications, which does a lot of nerd shit, and then they talk about music for the last half, and it's a pretty funny show. So give those a chance if you haven't already. And also, leave us a 5-star review. Let me see if I have any. Oh, and I'll see if I got any text from Robert. I just got one. So.
That's a picture of his penis?
Yes. So he said, let's see here. Let's see. He said, "Hey, Bubby, I'm at a wedding. On a scale from 1 to 10, how jealous are you?" And I said, "Free drinks?" And he said, "I'm driving, so I'm at a 5-drink limit." I said, "Kids or kid-free?" And he said, "Kids." And I said, I guess I'd put my jealousy at a 3 out of 10. And he said, "But it's a West Indian wedding, so it's a ton of fun." He said, "Baby, if I told you the right words at the right time, you'd be mine." And I don't know what he's talking about. He sent a video, but I was like, dark video, and he said, "It's audio, but it's definitely a video." So I stopped talking to him. Then yesterday at 5:28, he said, "Bubby," and I said, "Rubber," and he said, "What you doing?" And I said, "I'm at work." And he said, "Catching up on some Iron Man comics," which I ignored.
No, Batman.
And he said, "That's what you were doing last time I asked what you were doing at work." Keep in mind, it was like on my lunch break. And he said, "Are you drawing Thrawn nudes? Because that guy legit has blue balls. No wonder his eyes are so bloodshot." And then he said, "Why are you such an Iron Man fanatic?" And I just said, "LOL." And then he sent me an Iron Man picture and asked me had I finally pulled myself away from that comic. And the Iron Man picture has a villain yelling at Iron Man going, "Fool," which is why he sent it to me. And then he said, "Hey, what song is this? Scarlett's trying to find it, and I can't remember the name." And he sent me this.
Don't ask him.
So I answered, "Cream, Sunshine of Your Love." And then he didn't respond. And I said, "Are you going to NJCC?" And he said, "Probably not. Lisa starts school on Monday, and she's a lot prettier than Eddie." And I said, "Always something with Lisa's school. What are you going to do when she graduates?" And he said, "I think I'll take a nap. I want to spend time with her this weekend. We have a true romance. Next week, we're stuck with some weirdos." And I said, "You do not have a true romance." He said, "I got a tattoo of Christian Slater on one butt cheek and peaches on the other. And when I clap my ass, they kiss repeatedly." And I said, "But nobody will see it because you can't come out." So my phone autocorrected and fucked my shit up. But I said, "Nobody will see it because you can't come outside when she's in school." And then, but what it came out was, "Nobody can see it because you can come outside when she's in school."
Oh, Jesus.
So he said, "Jesus, go back to English class. Oh my fucking God." And I said, LOL. And he said, you'll see my tattoo next weekend when I wear my bikini thong. And then today at 7:38 p.m., I said, where are you? And he said, huh? And I said,
let me just jump in here real quick. I don't think that Robert should be pointing out needing to go back to English class when he needs to go and go back to like elementary school where they teach you about clocks and time and all that stuff.
And days of the week.
Yeah.
Being classy.
So I said, where are you? And he said, why do you ask? And I said, showtime. Fuck. Next message. I forgot. Next message. I'm at Coney Island. Next message. Whoops.
Whoops.
And I said, seriously? And then he sent me a picture of Coney Island. Yes. Next message. Damn it. Next message. I knew I was forgetting something. And then 2 hours later, hey, bubby, which I'm not responding to. And then let me see if we got any recent Shatteredcast 5-star reviews. Or less. Could be less.
Yeah, we'll take whatever.
As long as it's, even we'd prefer, even if you're going to shit on the show, give us the 5 stars and then give us your criticism. We'll take it.
Talk shit about us later, and then you can.
Yeah. Do we have any?
I'm looking. It's like.
I think I've seen any recently.
I just realized I got to hit that Target pharmacy.
Oh, well, you can roll.
No, it's fine. Target's literally 5 minutes away. It's fine. I'm gonna start putting my clothes back on now because I always do the show nude. No one knows that, but I always do the show nude completely.
Do you sit in a chair when you're doing it?
I sit on the edge of my. I sit like in the corner of the couch, with my legs like butterflied out.
Oh, but I thought you were gonna say crossed. I can see you crossing your legs and doing the show.
No, I get cramps. I'm fat, man.
Okay.
I spread out, and I'm like, I wanna fly like an eagle.
So we got 2 new ones. One says from Mervin48, says, love the show. These guys cover it all, Transformers-wise, from official Hasbro to Tomy to third party, even sneak in some KO, aka fourth party, and everything in between. So if you want to keep up to date with what's going on at Transformer Collectors, give these guys a listen.
Thank you, Mervin. I'm gonna need you to stop those lies. Do not talk about fourth party, aka KO, or whatever the hell.
It sneaks its ugly face in sometimes. And then the other one is from Isn't That Prime? Says, Friday Morning Delight. Hey, Mac, this is by far my favorite podcast. These guys are hilarious, informative, and somehow able to make you feel like you're just sitting there listening to your buds having a conversation. So thanks, fellas, and please.
We get that a lot. I love that.
I know, I do too. I mean,
it makes us like, we bring people in, and you're part of us, and that's what we like. I mean, we just, we're just,
One of us. One of us. All right, Matt, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, for a while. I'll see y'all. Good night, folks.
Shoutouts to Cool Table Network, ROC, Edges Around, Toy Detox, Plastic Fanatics, Spirit Vultures, Nerd Rage Radio, 8 Weeks.
And my personal favorite, the well-established Gentleman's Show, Stasis Lock.
At Real Robot, at Fear Corpse.
I am Ratchet.
Third Party TF Crashers, and Open Your Toys Podcast.
This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. The sole purpose is to entertain. If it doesn't fit with your sensitive sensibilities, please feel free to turn it off now.
Shut the fuck